Action RPGs are evolving into something far beyond just quests and combat. They're becoming living worlds that pull you in, test your instincts, and reward every choice you make. These upcoming titles aren't just about leveling up, they're about getting lost in stories that feel personal, in battles that demand focus, and in worlds that remember what you do. Here are 17 of the most epic action RPGs that promise to redefine the meaning of adventure. Loulan, the Cursed Sand, revealed on October 27th, 2025 for PlayStation 5 and PC, and it's one of those rare action RPGs that feels both mythic and intimate. Set along the ancient Silk Road in China's western regions, you play as a skeletal warrior named Cursed Sand, resurrected by desert magic to search for his lost princess in the fallen kingdom of Loulan. The game blends Diablo-like combat with a haunting love story inspired by real archaeological finds like the Xiaohe princess. Personally, I found its dual-form combat system, switching between sand-wrapped agility and raw skeletal power, surprisingly elegant. The top-down perspective and puzzle-laced exploration give it a meditative rhythm between battles. It's not just about slashing through enemies, it's about carving through memory, myth, and grief. Blood Message is an upcoming single-player action-adventure game developed by 24 Entertainment and published by NetEase Games, revealed on June 19, 2025, and set to release on PC and consoles. Set during the late Tang Dynasty, it follows a messenger and his son navigating the chaos of the Shazhou Uprising to deliver a vital message to Chang'an. What struck me most is its emotional core. This isn't just a journey through war-torn landscapes, it's a father-son odyssey wrapped in historical tragedy. The third-person combat is brutal yet cinematic, powered by Unreal Engine 5, and the environments feel drenched in dust, dread, and fading glory. Personally, I love how it leans into Eastern storytelling traditions, blending survival mechanics with poetic melancholy. It's shaping up to be a rare AAA title that values narrative weight over spectacle.
我们所流的血，是为了把大唐带回来。 我们必须在破城之前把安宁带出来。一人一个。安宁，等着我。安宁，安宁，
阿爷。 将追随沙洲一举，
去长安！你这是让他们去送死！
输赢成败，皆如沙上之大，风来。 为众生之苦，长漫于天地之间。
回家吧，这一切毫无意义。有人，天命所归，我才是大唐。到头来。 更多人，什么都不会改变。
没有我的帮助，你走不出这片沙漠。如果神不肯拯救我们的部族，那就让我来。
阿娘，等着我。
是对信使，每个人都做好了有去无回。
Project Tal is a Korean mythology-inspired action RPG announced on October 23, 2025, and set to release globally in 2027 for PC and consoles. Developed by Madden Gene and published by We Made Max, it reimagines Korea's traditional Tal masks, used in folk theater and shamanistic rituals, into a sprawling open-world fantasy. From what's been shown, the game promises emotionally resonant storytelling wrapped in lush, misty landscapes and towering mythic beasts. Personally, I'm intrigued by its commitment to cultural authenticity and the way it blends folklore with AAA-level combat. The trailer hints at a world that feels both sacred and savage, where every mask holds a story and every ruin echoes forgotten rites. If it delivers on its promise, Project TAL could be a genre-defining fusion of myth, memory, and monster slaying. Woochi the Wayfarer is a single-player fantasy action-adventure game announced on August 11th, 2025, and currently in development for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Inspired by the classic Korean novel The Tale of John Woochi, the game is set in the Joseon era and promises a rich blend of folklore, mysticism, and cinematic storytelling. Developed by Lore Vault Studio and published by Nexon Games, it runs on Unreal Engine 5 and leans heavily into stylized visuals and emotional resonance. Personally, I'm drawn to its ambition. Melding traditional Korean aesthetics with modern gameplay mechanics feels like a bold move. The trailer hints at a world brimming with spiritual tension and mythic grandeur, and if the narrative delivers, Woochi could stand shoulder to shoulder with titles like Ghost of Tsushima in cultural depth and visual polish. It's one I'll be watching closely.
기어코 여기까지. 참으로 정성이십니다.
Where Winds Meet releases on November 14th, 2025 for PC and PlayStation 5, and it's shaping up to be one of the most ambitious wuxia-inspired open-world RPGs to date. Developed by Everstone Studio and published by NetEase Games, the game is set during China's chaotic Five Dynasties and Ten Kingdoms period, placing you in the role of a wandering swordmaster navigating political upheaval and personal mystery. What really draws me in is the sheer elegance of its world. Lush bamboo forests, misty mountains, and ancient cities rendered in Unreal Engine 5. The combat looks fluid and cinematic with parkour, martial arts, and even calligraphy-based abilities. It's not just about fighting, it's about moving like poetry. If it delivers on its promise, this could be the Ghost of Tsushima of Chinese historical fantasy.
You wish to enter the jungle. Do you know the road up ahead?
You promised we'd roam the world together.
You sure you can save them? A hero has only one sword against countless foes.
For the greater good, small losses must be borne. But a small sacrifice for greater gain ahead.
Even when their bodies pile up, they're just footnotes in the annals of history. But are the common folk truly voiceless?
我兄弟击伐日，无梨树，保山坡，取纳克何得？
When the world falls silent, my blade speaks for them!
Thorgal is an upcoming action-adventure RPG developed and published by Mighty Koi, with its release date yet to be announced for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series XLS. Based on the beloved comic series by Grzegorz Rosinski and Jean Van Hamme, the game casts you as Thorgal Eggerson, a Viking warrior with cosmic origins, caught between Norse gods, monsters, and the fate of his family. What really excites me is how it promises to blend philosophical depth with mythic brutality. The environments look richly atmospheric, and the story seems to lean into moral choices and emotional stakes rather than just hack-and-slash spectacle. If executed well, Thorgal could be a rare fusion of narrative weight, mythological intrigue, and comic book legacy, offering something deeper than your typical Viking romp. It's one of those titles I'm cautiously optimistic about. The Blood of Dawnwalker is an upcoming single-player dark fantasy RPG set to release in 2026 for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S, developed by Rebel Wolves and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. Directed by Konrad Tomaszkiewicz of The Witcher 3 fame, the game unfolds in a plague-ravaged 14th century Southeast Europe where vampires rise from the shadows to claim power amid human collapse. You play as Cohen, a Dawnwalker, a hybrid of human and vampire, navigating swordplay by day and supernatural abilities by night. Personally, I'm fascinated by its promise of narrative-driven gameplay and moral complexity, especially with its Unreal Engine 5 visuals and haunting historical setting. If it delivers, this could be the most emotionally rich vampire RPG since Vampire, with a world that feels both cursed and captivating.
The vampires didn't come to kill us. No, they came to rule. To turn us into mindless, docile cattle. Not me, though. They tried to change me into one of them. But I became something else instead. Their worst nightmare. A Dawnwalker. Trapped between the two worlds. Fighting to even the score. Fighting to understand the evil behind it all. He is out there watching, seeping into you, growing.
Fatekeeper is an upcoming first-person action RPG developed by Paraglacial and published by THQ Nordic with its release date yet to be announced, currently planned for Microsoft Windows via Steam. Set in a handcrafted dark fantasy world, the game invites players to explore ancient battlegrounds, forgotten sanctuaries, and vast underground caverns while mastering swordplay and sorcery. What really caught my attention is its blend of reactive melee combat and spellcasting, which promises tactical depth and visceral satisfaction. The environments feel atmospheric and lore-rich, rewarding curiosity with hidden relics and narrative fragments. Personally, I'm intrigued by its immersive sim elements. Choices seem to shape not just your character, but the world itself. If it sticks the landing, Fatekeeper could be a sleeper hit for fans of Dark Messiah, Arx Fatalis, or Kingdoms of Amalur.
Tukak Koranchi, Falumak Hokre Oritoma. Takarun Kal Dokuchi, Washikotan. Utan Ketoanshi. Utan Fatekeeper.
Swords of Legends was revealed on August 19th, 2025 during Gamescom and is set to release on PC and consoles, marking the first global entry in the long-running Gujian franchise. Developed by Oregon Shanghai and published by Gameforge Interactive, this standalone action RPG casts you as Saipan, an underworld enforcer, dead yet reborn, tasked with wielding divine artifacts and mystical techniques against supernatural horrors. What really grabbed me is how it fuses Chinese underworld mythology with stylish, strategic combat. You're not just hacking through enemies, you're binding souls, summoning spirits, and mastering spiritual seals. The art direction leans into ethereal beauty and haunting decay, and if the narrative holds up, this could be a breakout moment for Chinese fantasy in the global RPG scene. It feels like Sekiro meets Journey to the West, with a soul all its own.
You, a soulless husk. You can judge my fate!
Why wrestle rogues when their artifacts can do what brute strength cannot?
What? A soulless husk?
The living cast their dead to flame, and sacrifice ignites the war banners!
Here we go again.
Black Myth: Zhong is an upcoming single-player action RPG developed by Game Science with no official release date yet, but confirmed for PC and major consoles. As the second installment in the Black Myth series following Black Myth Wukong, this title shifts focus to Zhong, the legendary ghost-hunting deity of Chinese folklore, who walks the line between hell and earth. What excites me most is how it leans into darker mythological tones, promising a more gothic, horror-tinged atmosphere compared to its predecessor. The visuals powered by Unreal Engine 5 are already jaw-dropping, with grotesque spirits, cursed temples, and eerie underworld vistas. If Wukong was about mythic heroism, Zhong feels like a descent into spiritual reckoning. I'm hoping it delivers not just on combat, but on emotional weight and cultural depth. This could be the Sekiro of Chinese supernatural lore, fierce, poetic, and unforgettable. The Age of Bhaarat is a dark fantasy action RPG currently in development by Tara Gaming Limited, with its release date yet to be announced and planned for PC via Steam. Set in a mythic version of ancient India, the game casts you as a forest warden defending your homeland against Rakshasa invaders, demonic forces drawn from epic lore. What really stands out to me is its commitment to Indian mythology as a gameplay foundation, not just aesthetic dressing. You wield mystical weapons, command arcane powers, and traverse richly detailed landscapes that feel both sacred and cursed. The Souls-like combat promises challenge, but it's the cultural depth and spiritual tension that could make this title truly memorable. If it delivers on its promise, the Age of Bhaarat might become a landmark moment for South Asian fantasy and global gaming. Beast of Reincarnation is an upcoming action RPG developed by Game Freak and published by Fictions, set to release in 2026 for Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. It marks Game Freak's first AAA title outside the Pokemon franchise, and it's a bold departure, set in a post-apocalyptic Japan in the year 4026, where you play as Emma the Sealer and her loyal dog, Ku. What really caught my attention is the game's blend of botanical magic, haunting ruins, and Souls-like combat. Emma's ability to manipulate plants for traversal and battle adds a fresh twist to the genre, and the one-human, one-dog dynamic feels emotionally rich. If the execution matches the concept, this could be a breakout moment for Game Freak's narrative ambitions beyond creature collecting. It's weird, wild, and quietly poetic, definitely one to watch. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake is scheduled to release by March 20th, 26 for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, marking Ubisoft's long-awaited return to one of its most iconic franchises. Originally announced in 2020, the remake faced multiple delays and visual overhauls after fan backlash, but now seems back on track with a renewed focus on quality. Personally, I'm cautiously optimistic. This isn't just about nostalgia, it's about whether Ubisoft can recapture the magic of fluid parkour, time rewind mechanics, and emotionally resonant storytelling that made the original a classic. If they nail the tone and pacing, it could be a masterclass in how to modernize a beloved title without losing its soul. The pressure's on, but the potential is huge. Soulframe is an upcoming fantasy MMORPG developed by Digital Extremes with no official release date yet, and currently confirmed for PC only. Set in the mystical world of Alka, the game explores themes of environmental decay, spiritual rebirth, and ancient conflict. Unlike its sci-fi sibling Warframe, Soulframe leans into slower, more deliberate melee combat and open-world exploration, with a focus on lore-rich storytelling and nature-based magic. Personally, I'm intrigued by its poetic tone and the way it blends Studio Ghibli-like aesthetics with gritty medieval fantasy. The Prelude access system lets early players shape the game's evolution, which feels refreshingly community-driven. If it delivers on its promise, Soulframe could be a genre-defining experience, less about grinding loot, more about wandering through a world that remembers.
Only you can make. Don't you forget it. Even if they find you, even if they sing their song, the magic, it's in you. Yours. Like the wind.
Darksiders 4 was officially announced in August 2025 and is set to release for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S, continuing the apocalyptic saga of the Four Horsemen with a fresh narrative that picks up where the original game left off. Developed by Gunfire Games and published by THQ Nordic, this installment promises a return to cinematic combat, puzzle solving, and lore-rich exploration in a devastated Earth ruled by divine chaos. Personally, I'm thrilled to see all Four Horsemen playable, finally delivering on a long-teased ensemble dynamic. The teaser hints at deeper character arcs and more fluid traversal, which could elevate the series beyond its cult status. If it balances mythic scale with emotional grit, Darksiders 4 might just be the redemption arc fans have waited for. Phantom Blade Zero is an upcoming wuxia action RPG developed and published by S-Game, slated for release in fall 2026 on PlayStation 5 and Windows. You play as Soul, an elite assassin betrayed by his own order and cursed with only 66 days to live, unless he uncovers the truth behind the Patriarch's murder. What really grabs me is the game's kinetic combat system, which blends traditional martial arts with supernatural flair, all rendered in Unreal Engine 5. The Phantom world feels like a fever dream of Eastern mythology and Gothic horror, with grotesque enemies and surreal architecture. Personally, I'm hyped by how it channels Sekiro's precision, but adds its own flair with cinematic combos and parries. If it delivers on its promise, Phantom Blade Zero could redefine the wuxia genre for global audiences. Vindictus: Defying Fate is an upcoming action RPG developed and published by Nexon, with its release date still to be announced and currently confirmed for PC via Steam. A spiritual successor to the original Vindictus MMORPG, this standalone title reimagines the brutal, Celtic-inspired world with modern visuals and Souls-like combat. You'll play as one of several myth-infused warriors, each wielding unique weapons and abilities in a world torn between gods and monsters. Personally, I'm intrigued by its shift from online co-op to a more focused single-player experience. It feels like Nexon is aiming for emotional weight and mechanical depth over spectacle. The combat looks tight and punishing, with a strong emphasis on timing and enemy patterns. If it delivers, Defying Fate could be a breakout moment for Korean dark fantasy in the global RPG space. And that wraps up our look at the 17 most epic action RPGs on the horizon. Each one offers its own world to lose yourself in, filled with choices, chaos, and stories that stay with you long after the credits roll. Which one are you most excited to play? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this list, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the best upcoming games. Thanks for watching.